So we're going to try this, guys. This is my first time live streaming this way. I copied Alex, JLR, and everyone else. I am using StreamYards, and we are live. We are live. We are live. So this is some drone footage of some areas that we've been searching. I've searched all the way from up here. If you guys look at the screen where that highway goes all the way back into that mountain right there, I've searched, basically walked all the way from there, all the way down. Let me see, I get that restart. From the very beginning, way back up in there where those dark trees are at, all the way up. This is about a 3 or 4 mile stretch right here, I'm guessing. I'm not too sure. Basically from the edge of Oro Valley all the way up to the Y. This right here is Luke's house where they did the FBI raid in the very, very beginning. I have this drone footage, zoom, fast forward a little bit. I'm not saying Luke's guilty or anything. I just want to kind of get a glance at this property. It's a really nice home. Kind of see what else is right here. Just showing you guys some of the spots we've already searched. This is where the FBI raid was at in the very beginning. This is a wash off Orange and First near Nancy's house that I've walked through pretty thoroughly. I want to kind of search off to the right, kind of the front left of my truck in front of that area. Please tell me you guys can hear me. The audio sounds like you're very far away. Well. I guess I'm going to have to do something else. Unless I can change it. Let me see. Settings, audio, mic, echo cancellation. Yeah, we're just going to use this other mic. It is what it is. See, there's got to be a way to turn this up, man. Let's see what we can do here. Let's see. There we go. Is that better? Is that better, guys? There. That should be better. Audio is fine. Ignore me, Mr. Dad. I'm being deaf. Close that. So, I want you guys to know, I do plan on going back to Tucson. I talked to Nico. I think Nico's busy right now. Let me double check.
Nico?
I'm going to send this link to Nico, and if he can come in here, we'll bring him in. And then copy, text it to Nico. If anybody wants to get on the StreamYards, let me know. How long will you continue to search? I don't know. I really don't know. Jim is searching right now. Okay. Do you have any footage of Nancy's raised flower beds? I'd like to know the measurements of them. I do not. Everyone be nice in chat, not hating on this channel. Thank you. I got my son right here. He wanted to say hi. You want to say hi, bud? Say, don't get on live stream, but say hello.
Hello.
Say hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
What's happened for you? You know what? Just kidding. Hey, Hunter, watch this, guys. The cops are coming for you. That's fake? He said that's AI. That's AI. Hey, get off the live stream, cool?
My mother was me.
Anyways, I just want to see how this works. So I talked to Nico. Nico is going to try to go out in about a week and a half. try, quote unquote, try. Kind of like the areas I do want to search is, let me show you guys right here. So it's like right here, this is an area I would like to search. This is in front of the church. This is sped up like 2.5, 3 times. Along these roads right here, along these washes. See how this wash comes back in here? Someone, oh, this has already been searched right here. This is off Orange Grove, right across the street from the high school. But we are not back in Arizona. County area. Oh, you guys want to see that? Ooh, okay. Let's see. That's a good idea. First two songs. Let me pull it up, guys. Whoa. Mexico. Pull Tucson real quick. I see Tucson. So let me see how I can do this. Okay. Back on more. Add. Don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do it, man. Whoops. Share screen. Share screen. Google Maps. Share. Hey, there we go. So this is Catalina Foothills right here. You guys want to see that spot? Oops, that's not Nancy's. Hold on, it's over here. So Nancy's home. This is Nancy's home right here, right?
That's not home.
Dude, I don't like these backgrounds, dude. This is dumb. I've never tried these backgrounds before, man. This is quite interesting. There we go. That's how you do the background. I gotta figure it out now. So Nancy's home is right here. So this section right here is where somebody dumped a bunch of rocks and chopped up cactus, which I believe are a protected species of cactus. This side right here is the side I like to go on when I live stream in front of her house because you have a view of her front door. Alex, this is Sue Yellen's house. This is the house that's got the, yeah, this house right here is one that's getting the pool put in where they put a, we know how they put a brick wall in the front, like a little, like 3 or 4 foot long brick wall. I believe that this is county property right here. So Alex is actually, from my understanding, in front of that. Yes. Who do I think put all the rocks and cactus and all that stuff in front of Nancy? I don't know, actually. The only thing I can think of is somebody from the HOA being a knucklehead. I don't think Sue Ellen has the strength to do it. I would just say kind of, you kind of have to look at, go drive around the neighborhood and kind of see who's got freshly cut cactus in the area, like who lives nearby that has recently cut their cactus. Maybe you see a bunch of rocks missing. It shouldn't be too hard to find out considering how much stuff is right there. You're going to notice it because each property only has so much of that cactus and so many rocks like that. I would assume Jim's back with a water drone. Nice. I would like a water drone, but man, they're like $2,000 or $3,000, man. Those are insane. I was looking them up for like, I don't know. They just look pricey as soon as I pulled them up. Oh, I'm kind of curious what he's got. She had lawn care people the day this happened. Her plants were disturbed. You think it was staged or a payback? Interesting. Alex already figured that one out. People from online. Okay, look, if anybody wants to join, let's see. If anybody wants to join, I'm going to give you guys a link in the chat, and we can have a discussion real quick. I'm going to do a panel. This is an open panel. I'm going to hit the link in the chat real quick. This is an open panel. He has a GoPro with a flashlight attached. Oh, that's pretty neat. You think it's staged? You're going to have to go in the other room in a minute. Okay. Someone said that Sue Ellen had someone doing yard work the day before it happened. Let me call Alex too. Let me see if he's busy or not. In your opinion, she never made it back. Oh, Jim made his own water drone. Oh. Yeah, water drones are not cheap, man. I want to do I have a GoPro. Maybe I get to merge my GoPro and drop it in and see how it works. That's a fake video though. Check the nearest Home Depot to our house, see if somebody got hired from there. Stop following the story a while ago, says Random. All I know is something phony is going on with this whole case. Yeah, let's see. We'll go to X. Ooh, I might have to remove that. Let me log into X real quick. There we go. Look at this. So that video, is it on here? Oh, you know what? No, it's not. It's not on here.
All right, we are back. Sorry about that. I don't have no idea. We are Starlinked up. Everything's connected.
Where is it at, man? Oh, Alex. Doorbell. I think Juice also has a picture of it too. I don't find pictures of the camera of this cactus. So here's a cactus right here. Somebody littered all this cactus and stuff alongside the road. And then a lot of people are under the impression that, you know what? We'll do it here. I'm going to debunk that real quick because I'm going to show you guys how it's not not the guy in the white truck. That's a fake video. That guy in the white truck is a fake video. I even posted it on accident. Fictitious man, Faithful Servant 777. I don't know who Faithful Servant 777 is, but they're posting AI videos and I don't like it. Oops. This is fake. This is like the fakest crap you have ever seen, dude. Check this out, guys. This is what I'm talking about. This is absolutely fake. Not real. Not real whatsoever.
All right, these two should fill in this gap here.
AI
Keep it neat. Looking good. Remember to leave some space.
Yeah, that's AI. I got sent a screenshot of it. I thought the screenshot was real, and the screenshot was not real.
All right, these two should fill in this gap here. Keep it neat. Looking good. Remember to leave some space. All right, these two should fill in this gap here. Keep it neat. Looking good. Remember to leave some space.
Somebody went out, recorded that, or take a still picture and added a video of a guy, and ironically, it looks just like Mark the Shark's truck.
All right, these two should fill in this gap here. Keep it neat. Looking good. Remember to leave some space.
So that's fake. But the screenshot I had looked pretty damn real. So rewind, go back here. So, anyways, I just want to talk. I was hoping Nico would be on. I think he's a little bit busy. Let's see. I just want to test this out, kind of see how this works. So, if anybody wants, oh, he's been doing all the crazy funny AI crap out, guys. That's cool. I thought it was real. I fell for it. I just don't like AI no more. Holy crap. I wish I could show you guys all the emails about sidekicks and mediums. She's at Rose Canyon Lake. She's in the bottom of Rose Canyon Lake. She's at the mouth. She's by the dam. She's at the perp's house, which has yellow flowers in the front. Then another, like 5 of them said purple flowers. Now they're saying sunflowers. We're going to Vegas. I'm going to Vegas this weekend. I'm giving in. I'm gonna take my truck and listen to you guys. I'm gonna take my truck and I'm gonna go to Vegas. Go check it out. Yeah, I don't like. Look, the person probably didn't have any bad intentions. I don't like AI because AI tricks me. Okay. Yeah, I guess. Okay. Then you walk over here.
No.
What's this? All for me?
No, look, I'm talking to you.
Ooh, I got slushy. Wait, there's no straw. I know. My wife just brought us Taco Bell. Check it out, guys. That's good. What is that? He says, What is this?
Strawberry.
This is Baja Blast. So anyways, I just want to just touch base with everybody. So, and I don't think anybody's bad for using AI videos. I make AI videos. AI videos make me angry because they trick me. I grew up in a time when we didn't have AI. And I look at it. My son, he's like, that's fake. That's AI. Me, I'm like, hey, look at this. I'm like, oh, shit, that's actually AI. Yeah, it's Baja Blast. So we're going to go to Crime Con.
Daddy, I'm hungry.
What's my mommy? I'm in here on my live stream, Bubba.
I thought she gave you food.
Oh, you want my food?
Hmm.
Here. Go eat it in the kitchen. My taco. It has the chip taco stuff.
No.
You don't want it?
Oh.
Really? Oh my God. AI is being used for all the wrong reasons. There should be a warning with fake. JLR, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on or anything like that. I do know that I plan on meeting up with JLR in Vegas. JLR and Alex. I tried calling Alex. Oh, let me see Tucson. Oh, let's see if we get Tucson in here. I'm gonna call him right now. See what he's got going on. The cop will take that real serious. Think JLR going to Vegas. Dude, no, everybody's hard to get a hold of, man. Just 857 Tucson JLR. JLR, I think he's busy today. Alex didn't answer. Oh, juice. This is a last minute live stream, guys. I've been talking about getting the StreamYard set up. I didn't want to do the StreamYards. We got it set up. There we go. Most of y'all are awake. Let's go.
Forwarded to an automated voice message.
See, I need to schedule this better, man. Juice. Okay, he's not live. All the time. We're awake, all right, frustrated and awake. If anybody wants to join and do a talk, see what you guys think about this case. Not much, man. I'm live on a panel right now, and I was wondering if you want to jump in and just chat real quick. I just tested out the panel, got it going, and now I'm just sitting here staring at the camera. Okay, cool. It don't have to be long, just a couple minutes. Just want to talk or whatever. So I'll send you a link. Yeah. If you're able to, that's awesome. If not, no worries.
Do you have me on?
I got you on speaker right now.
No. Do you have me on X? I wanted to see if you could maybe send it through there. That way I could use my other phone.
Actually, I'll send it to you right now. That'll work.
Cool.
Podcast copy. All right, I'm sending it right now. I'm already looking at one of your pictures on X. We're talking about I want to talk to you about the cactus and the rocks.
Let's do it.
So
I'll chime right in right now.
Hell yeah. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Got all my kids coming in here now, guys. Okay.
Here. Here, Dad. Here you go. There you go. No problem with it. Come on. I'm just sorry to dedicate it. If you made it up.
Juice. We just sent it to him. So this is Juice right here. We're gonna get him in. Share screen. Share screen. Juice. There we go. So I want to talk to Juice about this crap they're doing to us. Right here. Ignore my lazy eye. Don't judge me. But make sure you say give me permission to be on camera or you will be shut down. I give who permission to be on camera? Catch you later, Zorro. Zorro, we appreciate you. We appreciate you watching. You are loved, Zorro. We love you, Zorro. You know what, Zorro? Just for you, brother. I'm gonna eat this chicken quesadilla in honor of you, Zora. Yep. Exactly, Deb. Stop talking smack about other streamers that makes you look bad.
How you doing? I'm not gonna get out of here.
I came from look right here.
How you doing? I'm not gonna get out of here. How you doing?
That's where that came from.
I'm not gonna get out of here. What are you gonna do if I don't get out of here, bud? I didn't think so. Keep it walking. Keep on walking, yellow shirt. Keep going. Get out of here, bro. You don't own this street right here. You think you do, but you don't. So keep on walking. I'm worried about Nancy, not about you, asshole. Get out of here. That's not what you said a minute ago, asshole. You can't change it now. You told me to get out of here. Yeah, so why don't you get out of here? Ass clown. Keep it walking. You ain't gonna do nothing. Keep
I didn't know. I don't know what that's from. Holy crap. Keep on walking, ass clown. A team of psychics led the location of finding Camilla in San Antonio 4 months ago. It was actually spoken about on a local news interview. Oh. Oh, check this out too. This just came through too. JLR just sent me this. Thank you for reaching out and your interest in returning to CrimeCon this weekend. While we greatly appreciate your desire to share the CrimeCon experience with your audience, live streaming is prohibited at the event. Please note this policy is strictly enforced and applies to all the areas of the convention, including the main halls, exhibit areas, and common spaces, not just inside the session rooms. We want to protect the privacy and experience of all of our attendees, speakers, and exhibitors. Best regards, CrimeCon team. Thanks, CrimeCon. So we are not allowed. JLR sent me this text a little bit ago too. We are not allowed to live stream at CrimeCon whatsoever, despite what it says online. Nancy Guthrie case. Harry Gross, private investigator at ex-Pima County deputy sheriff. He started working for Pima County in 1984. That is the guy. That is the guy we've been seeing in front of Nancy. He got up to Nancy a couple times. I personally saw him too, at least one. Whoa. I think this is a complaint against a private investigator. Looks like Mike from Breaking Bad. This guy right here looks like Mike from Breaking Bad. What do you guys think about this guy? Harry Goss, private investigator and Pima County deputy sheriff. He started working for Pima County in 1984. Owner of Action Concepts Tactical Training in Oro Valley. What? Yeah. You're saying Nano's got a $21 million lawsuit served yesterday. Let's try to call Alex one more time. I'm like really hungry. I haven't really ate.
Call has been.
Nope. No answer. No answer. You know what? Supposedly he drives a white Tesla. Didn't 857 try to say something about a white Tesla? Where's he at? Live on scene, possible escape routes. Was 857 we just watched about a guy in a Tesla?
I think
I don't know, actually. I don't see it here. I don't see it, man. Hey, there's me. Let's go. 857 Tucson has me on his thing. Look at that. We got the Nancy shirts. There's me. I look all angry. I'm not, I promise. I don't know why I look angry, but I'm not. There's me again. There's Alex, JLR. These ladies were really nice right here. We gave them all a Bring Nancy Home t-shirt. Yeah, I heard he was a PI too. It was I assumed he was a PI, but I think it's been confirmed he is a PI now. It is confirmed. Let's see. I was gonna see. Does anybody want to come in? Oh, Juice is in.
It's true.
Juice, can you hear me? How you doing?
Hey, what's happening, DGL? I'm here. Yes, I hear you loud and clear.
Sweet. Can you guys hear him?
I can't read chat, but I can hear you.
Nice. So I was looking at your post about the cactus and the rocks. What's going on with that?
I don't know, man. I got a bunch of people blowing me up one night, and I think it came from. I think Mark was actually the first person to discover it, and it was probably like midnight almost. So I came over here, and turned out this is what really happened. I mean, I don't know who it was. It's still questionable who it was, whether or not it was a neighbor or some troll online. It's hard to say. It really is.
So is it? It's like dead cactus. Like we're able to see it right there, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You're in front of Nancy Guthrie's right now.
Yeah. See if I could.
So it's like someone took a bunch of dead cactus or chopped up some cactus leaves and just dumped them on the side of the road, which is typically trash.
Right, which is also illegal as well, from what I heard, depending on the cactus, I guess.
So given the fact that, I have the truck, what if, maybe not the rocks, because I don't think the rocks are trash, they're just part of the landscaping. What if we put on some leather gloves and load that junk up and take it to the green waste facility to discard of it? Because that's going to be a fire hazard, is it not, after it dries out?
I agree. I think Criminal Network said the same thing. So, I mean, I agree 100%. I mean, somebody told me not to touch it. I started to kind of move it out the way, kind of throw it in a pile somewhere. But somebody was like, don't touch it. I don't think it'll be a big deal touching it, but so they say.
You already know that if we do anything at all, they're calling the cops right away. But I don't think picking up trash off the side of the road on a public easement is illegal. No,
not at all. Not at all.
The cactus, someone's saying in the chat that it looks like the cactus was just cut.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, it looks like it was like either cut or it was ripped off.
I'm just checking the chat. So have people been harassing you out there still? Are they bugging you guys, or are you just noticing that there's cactus and stuff littered around the ground?
Yeah, I haven't had any issues at all. I know Alex had a little small interaction the other day with a guy who told him pretty much not to, to go away for the most part. But I haven't had any odd neighbors coming up or mad neighbors for the most part. It's been a little while now. So it's been pretty smooth.
Did they only put that on Sue Ellen's property, or did they put that on Paul's property too, across the way?
Nah, just right here, I guess. I don't know if this is Sue Ellen's though. I don't know if Sue Ellen's property goes out this far. That's a good question.
Her property goes all the way down to the road right there. She owns that.
So this is all. Oh, so this is actually Sue Ellen's property. Wow.
Yes. So Sue Ellen's goes from the northern side where her little property line's at between her and the neighbor's house, and it goes all the way down to the road. And you know, I understand that Sue Ellen's been kind of like grumpy with everyone out there, but when I talked to her, she was actually really nice. She was just frustrated with the people who are parking out there. And,
yeah, I agree.
she was telling me that she has a history in forensics and went to college for forensic like investigations and stuff, and knows quite a bit. And that she felt that she searched her property better than the searchers searched around Nancy's property. She said she walked every square inch of her property the next day when she realized that Nancy was missing. And she looked for clues, trash, everything. She said there's nothing, no stone has not been turned on her property. She searched it through it. So to me, it's really interesting that with Sue Ellen being the way she is, if Sue Ellen did not want those rocks and cactus there, she would have had something done about it.
That's disappointing.
So I would assume that Sue Ellen immediately knew in the very next day.
You know, that makes me question whether or not those septic tanks were checked 100%. And I don't even know exactly where they are. I think we went over it several times, but the septic tanks, some say, I mean, JLR pointed out that it's near the, what is it? The fireplace. But I don't know. I don't know exactly where the septic tanks are around here. And then they got the 2 water tanks behind the Jim folks' house. Quick question. I know this is off topic, but, well, not off topic, but for the Jim folks' house, do you know anything about the Jim folks? Like, is their house rented out as an Airbnb?
You're sitting in front of the house, and the house just to the right of Nancy's.
Say that one more time.
So if you're sitting in front of Nancy's house and you're sitting across the street where the rocks and cactus were put, and you're looking at Nancy's, Jim folk house is a house right next door to the right, correct?
Correct, yeah.
So I actually spoke to the lady that owns that house. She drives I think like a silver or grayish silver minivan. She pulled up one night. She was visibly upset that we all had cameras, and she just acted like a normal person. And she just said that she's just tired of all the stuff in the neighborhood. So I don't know if she's actually moved out or if she decided not to stay there until this is like concluded. But I don't know. I did see that. I haven't seen her since, and I saw her about a month and a half ago. I haven't seen her since then, since the day I talked to her with Alex. But before I left, I think a day or two before I left, I did see some guy with a bunch of boxes by the garage. And I don't know what it was.
I don't know if you noticed, but they got a balcony there.
I don't.
I don't know, because I know you've done a lot of drone footage around here, and they've got a balcony.
So that's what she was actually upset about, is the drone.
Right over Nancy.
Per her request, I didn't find my drone anywhere near her house or looked at her house. I have not seen her house at all with a drone yet.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So I didn't want to upset her any further. I was just like, yeah, we do have drones, but we're focusing on Nancy's house. Then she was upset because I guess the Hispanic ladies that came up from Mexico, they put like a post in the ground on her property, and she's like, "This is my property. I don't want that here." And then, thank you so much, Racing Wild. I appreciate that. And then she was also upset that she understands that people want to search, but she said that in the beginning she had a lot of people trying to search the area for Nancy, like civilians like us, and they were just walking through the property, just tracking like her property. It wasn't even her property. She was just like, they just walked right through, like not even caring.
Wow.
Which I guess is why she's, I understand the frustration, man. Like people want privacy, but like right now, I'm looking at your camera. Your camera's on your face, or your camera's on the Guthrie property, or it's on the public easement. You're not going up and like, hey, let me just, live stream at this new person's front door. You're kind of focusing on the property that a person was kidnapped out of that nobody lives at right now.
Correct. Yeah. That's exactly what we're here for.
And
I didn't want to cut you off, but
no, you're good.
I don't know. I just wanted to bring this to your attention. I'm getting like rumors that the gym people's house next door right here behind me, they didn't give their footage to the FBI. They said no. I don't know if that's true though.
I don't know if that's true because I physically watched the FBI remove cameras off their property. Mm-hmm. I have video. It's in the very beginning when the media frenzy was still going on. I have video of the FBI on a ladder looking at the ring camera on the front, and then also walking around the back of the property with the resident of the house. So from what I saw, it looked like they were cooperating and trying to help out the FBI.
Okay. So it's not true then. Okay.
I don't think so, man. I think I think the FBI did get permission to look at their cameras, and they like actually physically look at the cameras in person.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to see if there's any cloud storage on the cameras. I don't know. The FBI that day weren't talking to anybody. I think the people that was out there was myself, JLR, and then like all the main news stations. But yeah, there's video.
That was the day they went door to door, right?
The FBI were going back from Nancy's house, and they're walking over to the Gem house. They're going like back and forth.
Okay.
But I don't know if like someone said they could have got a search warrant for it. That's true. I don't know if they got a search warrant or if they're just like, hey, do you mind if we check your cameras? I know a lot of people in that area have cameras and they're complacent with it. Oh, it looks like I have a camera. The camera's up, but they don't pay for the subscription, so they don't have any recording.
Yeah.
So
It's tough.
they're saying that there was one neighbor that refused to get footage, and I don't think it was her.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I've heard that too. I don't know specifically who it was, but I know there were one or two that didn't want to, give up their footage, or they didn't have a subscription that was paid for. So.
Yeah, but I found it interesting because Nancy didn't pay her subscription. They already got the perp video, and that's all they're telling us. They're not telling us about the other,
Yeah.
But they did say that they got some kind of movement on the back. They did say they got movement in the backyard. The FBI said they were able to obtain movement in the backyard, but nothing of significance to the case.
Okay.
But if they don't have any other footage from the house that's of significance to the case, how do they know what Nancy was wearing when she left the house?
That's a good question. I don't know. People keep saying that. I don't get it either. And I'm sure Nancy had plenty of clothes. From what I heard, they're saying that they know what she had on pajamas. That they know what specific pajamas she was wearing that day.
How do they know that? How do they know what pajamas she was wearing?
That's almost like a clue to me. It kind of tells me that there's a possibility that they got that part on on some type of footage that they seen her that night. Maybe, I don't know, but it seems like the camera was removed before any activity took place in the front.
Footage from inside the house of the perp interacting with her. Was there cameras inside of Nancy's house? I have cameras in my house. Are there cameras in her house? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. That's the first initial rumor we heard. Remember, they said that there were cameras in the house, and then
now there's
people were
not.
saying there weren't. So yeah.
And then if the perp, he came through the front, and the initial video is the video that we have. What's been released to us shows that there's video of the perp going to the front door to rip the camera off, and then also the video on January 11th or whatever that we're assuming.
Yeah.
I think that kind of indicates that maybe the perp went through the house already, and he already had, Nancy, I hate saying it like this, but knocked out, incapacitated.
Yeah. It's hard to say. It really is. So with the backpack being full, I don't know why I feel like that what was in the bag was cameras. I don't know why I feel like that's the only thing that was in the bag, but I don't know that 2 cameras or 3, however many he took, because I think Nancy had 4. But I think he left one from what I've heard. I mean, I think the one that was pointing toward the pool was the one that was left behind. But I'm not even certain if that one was left behind at all. I don't know about you, but I want to say that I feel like the bag was full with cameras. I don't know why I think that, but I don't know what else could possibly be in the bag.
You moved off the property.
Say it again.
You think there was potentially cameras that he moved off the property that were in the backpack?
Oh, for certain, because I don't think that. I mean, I remember hearing in the beginning that the cameras were broken, but I don't remember them saying they found like pieces laying around or anything like that. So I think he just dismantled the cameras and, I mean, put them in his bag unless he went back to the car. I mean, he had to put the cameras somewhere. You know, they weren't here. You know, I don't think they got those cameras on the two that were on the casita, because I believe there was 2 on the casita. And then, you know, the ring camera and then 1 in the back. If there were some in the house, that would make more sense to why the bag was so full, because I don't know if 4 cameras or 3 cameras would fill up a bag. I mean, those cameras are not that big. If they're the same ones that are here now, at least.
Actually, I have one in my office right here somewhere. I was thinking about putting it in here too, because we have, you know, we have a computer and all that stuff in here. And so after this Nancy Guthrie case, man, like, because I come from a scanner chasing kind of community, live streaming stuff, and covering this Nancy Guthrie thing, it's like, now you never know. So yeah. I want to have, you know, I have cameras in my backyard, cameras in the front, cameras in my entryway. You know, what did Nancy have is my question. And the cameras got, man, they're small. They're my webcam, stick-up webcam camera right here is larger than my cameras I have for my house. They're so small and they're such a better quality.
Yeah. I got to get cameras. I only have some around the home, but I don't have like a ring camera.
Here's one of my cameras right here. This is Arlo. It's just like Ring. This is a stick-up camera for inside the house. It has a little base you screw on right here, and it just sits like that. Put it up on top of a shelf.
I like that.
Literally. You can put a lot of these, and this is USB powered.
Yeah. You
put a lot of these all over your house, and with how big that guy's backpack was, man. If he's got, you know, electronics and stuff that he stuffed in that backpack, then yeah.
I mean, it's not, I don't think it's like back in the day, right? Where you got like DVR, like what is it called? Like a DVR, like a big system that runs the cameras where you know.
Oh, yeah.
Does that still apply nowadays? I mean, or is all the memory stored within the phone?
Shoot. Hey, we got Nico in here. Sorry about that. Nico and Alex,
Nico.
How you doing? Nico.
So, gentlemen.
How are you?
Juice, Jacob, good to see you guys.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Hello, everyone.
This is Nico, private investigator.
Criminal Network. What's good, guys?
What's up,
Alex with Criminal Network.
See you, Nico.
Here, let me move around.
What's up, brother?
So we were just talking about the cameras. We were just talking about the cameras, and I have security cameras all over my house. And look how small this thing is.
Out here, guys.
Is it something that you put like in your office? You know, maybe your hallway, entryway. I probably wouldn't put it in the bathroom because that's a little creepy. But Juice is saying maybe the perp had a backpack and took a lot of cameras out of the house, like thinking maybe they're recording and he didn't want to be seen on the camera.
Guys, I'm gonna exit out and then I'll come back in. I think I'm losing I'm getting bad signal here.
Right.
All right,
Juice.
Bad signal. You guys know how it goes out here. The signals are horrible.
Oh, I think it's
visible.
Visible. Get visible, he says.
Right.
Get visible.
Yeah, so what were you saying about the camera? So about your camera?
Juice is saying maybe the perp filled up his backpack with cameras. Because he speculated maybe the backpack had like evidence, you know, in the form of cameras that he ripped off, thinking maybe the cameras were recording.
Very possible. I think that was the 147 is when they got there. I don't think there were, some people said that's when they were leaving. Me personally, I think that's when they got there.
The 147 is when they got there, is what you're thinking.
Right, because remember there was 212, because there was 212 motion was detected on the camera. We didn't know where the camera was for a while. Nano said, oh, because it could have been outside. He was like, it could have been an animal. Later we find out that camera was inside the house. So motion was detected at 212. So if they were there like at 11 o'clock and you know what I mean, don't you think they would have had some kind of motion before that?
I think so. But they're only releasing what they want us to know.
Of course.
What aren't they telling us? Oh, I think Juice is back in.
Another thing too is like, how did they know not to use the garage when that would have been the easiest, most efficient way to get her out of there? No one, if you're in the back, the car, you know what I mean, they wouldn't have even seen you, you know what I mean? But we know they didn't use the garage because we would have known that the smart garage would have detected that later. You know what I mean?
how Nico was talking, he did that test where he put his friend, not Nancy, but he put his friend over his shoulder and had his friend like spit water out. I think that the only reason why the perp went through the front door was because that was the shortest path from where Nancy may have been like capacitated to a vehicle. I think that was just the quickest access, you know, like.
But I mean, look at the garage. That would have been even quicker access. You wouldn't have even had to go throughout any of the main doors, but they didn't. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that means anything, but I'm just saying, how did they know not to do that? How did they know that there wasn't ADT security at the house? How did they know she didn't have a life alert around her neck? You know? And
then Nico, I totally changed the subject. We were talking about possibly going to search in the near future. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, I'm going to have surgery at the end of June, so I'm going to try and get out there maybe the week of June 5th at, you know, a few of those days and go out there and do some ground searching.
Okay.
You got some ideas where, Nico? You got some spots you kind of scope?
I'm working on some stuff via a 1 to 50,000 map. So, you know, once I get out there, if you guys are out there, I'm more than happy to, if you guys want to tag along and
definitely
see what I'm doing.
I learned a lot from you. I learned a lot from you, man. Like there's a lot of little things, but I like how you go to certain spots, open the door, close the door. And that means a lot. I get you, because then you kind of know where the dogs will be in the neighborhood. What would they have heard? Like all those things. I love that. Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to you coming back. That'd be awesome.
So I don't know are you able to see the background I have right here or no?
I do.
Yeah. Okay. Beautiful. So basically in the let me go back here. How do I do that? Right here. This is Oro Valley. This is as you're coming up the highway before you hit the split. I basically searched from where you leave the houses and businesses, from where they disappear on the highway, all the way up to where the split is. And I searched on the right side of the road right there. And that right there, the only thing I found was a bunch of animal bones. I did find a lot of clothing, lots of human clothing, but it all seemed like it was homeless people stuff, nothing of significance to call it.
Tons of clothing. Even at the golf course, I remember I took pictures of tons of clothing, but a lot of it was homeless. You know, you could just tell. Yeah. What was the house you were showing? What was the house you were showing right now?
That's Luke's. That's Luke's house. And don't get me wrong, I'm not accusing Luke, but that is Luke's house. This drone footage is sped up like 2 to 3 times, just because it's.
Hey, did either of you guys have any interaction with any of the homeless people in different homeless communities or camps?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, a few.
And, you know, they are, you know, everybody at some point in their lives fall on hard times. And, you know, some of those homeless people in some of our investigations have been a tremendous help.
Giving us a hard time. Yeah, I'm still backstage. You kind of forgot about me anyway, so it's all right. We're good.
In juice. I'm sorry.
Stay where you are. Yeah, we're all good. We're
listening to Nico talk about homeless people and investigations.
Yeah, you'd be surprised at the amount of information that homeless people, you know, have or what they have seen and stuff like that. And, you know, a lot of them are just, you know, trying to survive and trying to figure out where they're getting their next meal and so forth. And one of the things that struck me on this case was out in that area for the few days I was there, I didn't see a lot of people out there during the daytime. We found a couple of people, you know, under the bridges and in different hideaway areas. But one of the things people, especially Pima County, I think they should maybe do is go out there and talk to the homeless communities out there, because it's hot out there, right? It was even hot out there when I was out there. So they hunkered down a lot during the daytime.
Yeah.
You know,
they were night crawlers. Yeah.
Yeah. At nighttime, that's when they're, you know, moving around and, you know, linking up with each other, or walking to the Walmart or whatever. Right. And you never know, man. It could be that one person that says, matter of fact, I was walking down, Camino Real, and I do remember seeing a black pickup truck driving with its lights off or whatever, but I really didn't think of it, until you just asked me. So I think I know that it's been reported that they're now talking to every individual that gets arrested and goes to jail. They're asking them about the Nancy Guthrie case.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which is good, but if people are going in there on certain, they're not going to say anything unless they're going to get some benefit out of it.
Right.
Where I've given homeless people what we call seed money, right? So they could eat for a week or a month, and sometimes even larger amounts based on if they were helping us on a
some information or whatever. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Kind of like you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Yeah, and it's not like they have to worry about snitching in this case, right? It's
right.
We're looking for an 84-year-old lady, and one guy might say, I moved my camp 500 yards because there's some dead animal over in this area that I just couldn't take the smell anymore. And as you're talking to them, they say, yeah, it was right over there. It was around early February, maybe mid-February. Well, right there, that's a lead, right? So.
Yeah, Jacob and I, we were questioning a lot of different homeless people because, Jacob always is giving back. So, like, there's a couple of people we would sit and talk to, and some people know about the case, some people know, but we're always trying, I know that where you found that panny tree at, Jacob?
Yeah.
In Orange Grove, that culvert right there. The first night I went there, nobody was in there. Maybe 2 days later, there was a homeless girl. I don't know if you remember, me and JLR went down there, met her and maybe a couple other people. Well, 3 days later, the cops kicked her out of there. So they're always constantly moving. Even when she came, she's like, they just kicked us out from somewhere up the street. And they went there.
They said they got a notice of trespass. This is what I find really interesting.
Oh yeah, they did.
And I'm kind of ashamed of Pima County for this. So this is on Orange Grove, just around the corner from Nancy's house, Orange and First. They were camping out in here. There's an extensive amount of trash left over from their camp. Clothes on the ground,
shovels in there, everything.
And instead of getting the people to a home and then clean up the area, they just worried about kicking the people out. And look, I understand. I will be the first to tell you, on behalf of my viewers, I feed the homeless all the time. I fed them out last night. But I will be the first person to tell you that about 90% of the homeless people out there are not homeless because we have a home problem. We have a drug addiction and mental illness problem, an alcohol addiction problem. And it doesn't mean they don't need help. It doesn't mean that they're not people. It just means that is, for 90% of the people that I talk to, that is the underlying issue. So, and with all that stuff, with them being on the streets, going through what they're going through, this is what's left over when you kick them out. Now, do I think these people should be living in these tunnels? Absolutely not. But why is this left in our desert? I might be from California, but this doesn't mean this is not okay. However, the other thing I'm curious about, did Pima County Sheriff's Department, this is just around the corner from Nancy's house. This is actually less than a quarter mile from Luke's house. If you were to fire off a gun at Luke's house, you can hear it in this tunnel. That's how close it is. So did Pima County Sheriff's Department, when they kicked this person out of this tunnel, did they question her too? Or these people?
Right.
And why is, this trespass sign was on 224.
They've been putting, I've noticed those in a lot of different spots in the culverts now too, yeah. But they didn't used to be there. Well, you could tell by the date on there. Yeah, the painting
is really interesting too. The underwear tree, the whole tree thing with the underwear, that's a rape tree. That's what those are for.
I took a picture of that too, maybe 2 months ago, and it was there 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And it's more panties, I think.
I mean, this is, I hate talking like that, but it is. And like Nico said, these are great people to question because they're always going to be in these areas and they're always paying attention to what's going on around them. A lot of these people are paranoid about someone coming and messing with them. So every other car that drives by, they're staring at it. Like, is that person going to bug me? Are they going to throw something out the window at me? During the middle of the night, you hear someone yelling and screaming. They're talking about it. They're hearing it. But nobody wants to listen to them a lot of times.
You know, you raise a great point also about the addiction, right? So
Great.
people, you know, it's easy for people to judge because they've never been in that position, right? And you know, I will admit, man, when I came home from a number of deployments, I had some bad struggles to deal with as far as alcohol, right? And unless you've had that addiction, I was very fortunate because I was able to get help, you know, through the VA and other places. But a lot of those people don't have those benefits, right? And if you can't help them get out of the environment, it's way harder for them. You know, a lot of people say, oh, they just need to turn themselves into a rehab. Well, not necessarily. Not all rehabs work the same, and not everybody has the same addiction, and not everybody has the same opportunity. So, you know, they would do well to you know, take a step back, you know, instead of just kicking these guys out, find out where these maybe these shelters are and these places that help them with addiction, and just give them. A lot of people, they just need that one shot, and really they just need that one person that gives a shit.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of rehabilitation places anymore either. I'm not saying there's none, but it was just more prevalent maybe 10 years ago, or like when 14 years ago when I got into recovery. I didn't even know what recovery was at 30 something years old, but I'm blessed that I did, you know, and even though I still fought it, but it seems like nowadays they don't even, it's like they don't even bring up rehabilitation or anything, you know, or even like how Jacob said, mental illness. You know, I'm duly diagnosed myself. Luckily, I reached out, and there are places that, you know what I mean. But when it comes to fentanyl, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's nuts to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing that fentanyl is like 16 cents a pill. That's nuts. That keeps you high for 24 hours. To me, that's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Cartel. They're built off that.
That's the other thing too. Like Nico just said, like, someone give a shit. A lot of these people that are out in the streets just need someone to give a shit about them, instead of looking at them like they're a burden, or, you know, maybe they're dirty, whatever it is. Oh, it's just another drug addict. No, that's a fucking human. Mm-hmm. They are fucking human. Excuse language, but they are human, and they deserve help, and they deserve, you know, the time of day, just like you and I do. We all are human. We all bleed red. At the end of the day, everyone deserves a chance in life. And I feel like, I just feel like this country's attacking the homeless thing wrong, man. Regardless of it, I just don't think it's being attacked right. And that's why the homeless situation is so bad.
The drugs don't help.
Nico, do you think we should go back and kind of like try to find more homeless people in these areas and kind of like question them and see if they remember anything, or if they try to tell law enforcement anything?
I mean, the biggest thing is you know, to find out where these camps are relative to where Nancy's house is.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know, maybe we figure out, like, if this camp has 20 people in it, right? Or let's say even 10 people, right? We get together, everybody throwing $20, and we buy a bunch of cheeseburgers from McDonald's. That cheeseburger may, you know, be laughable to us, but you just hit the nail on the head with that sign. But to somebody that's hungry,
yeah,
that cheeseburger means everything.
So this is so funny story that you said that, because this right here, I took this picture on the bed of my truck. That's you can see in the top. That's my truck. That's my ice chest. So this is the food that me, Alex, Ted, JLR, and I think Juice, we were all munching on. Somebody ordered us a bunch of barbecue, and we put all of our plates and our trash on the top. And when I left, I took the box to throw it away. You know, we didn't know how much food was left. We were all full. We're stuffed. We're like, we can't eat no more. Well, I want to go throw the food away in a dumpster. And I looked over, saw a group of homeless people. I was like, hey, man, there's a bunch of trash on top, but under that's fresh barbecue. Do you guys want it? We threw the trash away and they saw that. Oh my God. Their response, dude, it was like, it was a look on my kid's face when he got a brand new bike. They were so thankful. So something like that just goes a long ways, you know? So I think that's not a bad idea. I know I'm going into way too much detail, you know, don't shoot me.
And, and don't forget, you know, they may not know anything, but you know what they do know? That Jacob or Alex were kind enough to bring me 2 cheeseburgers. And guess what? Now, or if he or she does see something or hear something, maybe they'll get the word back to you. You know?
That's true.
And, you know, I've seen Jacob too a lot of times where people are like, oh, he's doing it for the camera. There's many times I've been with Jacob and I've seen him giving people food. It didn't have to be a camera there. It's nice if the camera's there, but really, I've seen him do it multiple times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love it. I love how Jacob.
You guys can't catch a break, man.
No, everybody don't like us. I don't know why. We're trying.
Can't please everybody. Can't please everyone. Yeah, no, it's not about the camera, man. It's just.
Hey, Nico, how'd you feel about the what they did to the easement? I mean, it's not that big a deal to me, but the rocks and the cactus and the. Did you see that or no?
I want to know who took the time.
Thank you.
To load up all those rocks.
That's dedication.
And cacti, and then drive all the way out there to unload it, just to go nah.
Now I got a new spot. I got a new apartment at the top of the hill. I don't know if you saw it, but that's county property, the right of way up there on the top of the hill. It's my new apartment up there now. So they pushed me, and then look what happens. You see?
I don't know, man. I have a feeling that it's not many that are upset. I think there's
A collection.
very few, and that's really the driving force behind it. Because, you know, when you guys are out there, there's lighting, there's monitoring, there's recording.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it is not uncommon for a suspect in a murder to go and revisit the crime scene, even in the immediate and oftentimes well after. And maybe he just turns that corner one night and now all of a sudden he drives by, and 2 weeks later, law enforcement comes out and says, we're looking for this black and yellow Dodge Ram with a sticker on the back window. And then Alex goes back and he's like, wait a second, that sounds familiar. And then you go back and you look at your video.
Love it.
And there it is. And maybe you catch a plate. Or if the driver's on your side, maybe you get a glimpse of what the driver looks like. That's how crimes are solved. People, you know,
that's how
much as I hate to say it, you know who solves a lot of big time crimes? The public. The public.
Well, that's how.
Yeah. It's not always law enforcement coming in, rolling the dice and making an arrest. It's the public making a call. It's the public sending in a tip. It's the public remembering, you know.
I agree. When we do those call-ins, we get to hear all those people and they're reminding us of stuff that we might have forgot from before. But yeah, all documented. And
Absolutely.
How you go back and see who had passed by.
Absolutely.
I found it weird.
You know, I know it's going to sound crazy, but you got to wonder, you know, suspect may not have come out there and dropped those rocks and cacti.
Right.
But a lot of times these organized serial offenders, we'll call them, they're the nicest people. Nobody in their right mind would ever think they would have been kidnapping and killing people, right? But then come to find out that this guy was pretending to be upset with the YouTubers for being out there. So he paid 2 guys to drop rocks and stuff off in front of Nancy's. Meanwhile, it's the offender because he can't come out there when you guys are out there.
Right.
You know what
A
I'm
lot
saying?
of stuff happens when we're not out there too. It's weird, you know. It's like they wait for the cameras to go off. They're like,
Yeah.
You know, this is also something else too. We're talking about the cameras. Kind of change the subject a little bit, but Nico, these plate readers, man, have you seen these before?
Not that style.
Who do you think? What agency do you think would have put these out there?
A lot of times they could be to monitor traffic. I know on highways like that, well, on side streets, a lot of times they'll put these wires across the roads that monitor and record the traffic so they can figure out if they need to widen the lanes. But something like that, I don't know.
and don't those usually hold water or sand or something? And
Yeah.
and it's like it's on the inside of the barrier, so they're not even really. Like, why would they even?
Honestly, it looks very rookie to me.
Right, like why is it on the inside over there? It's not going to save any car or vehicle.
Yeah, it could be some new like private investigator
Interesting.
looking for a cheating spouse or something like that.
Right.
If they're going from Phoenix to Tucson.
Cats in the vehicle.
They go. I followed the wire on the side of it. There's a wire coming out, a cable, like a power cable, and it goes directly to a power pole about 150 feet away.
Wow.
So it makes me think that it's like approved by like.
It's probably not county then, you'd think, or a city, but I don't know. That's weird.
My gut instinct says it's Border Patrol trying to catch drug smugglers and human traffickers. But those are like.
I don't know, man. I've seen some of the Border Patrol stuff, and they don't look like that.
Now I'm not going to say where this is because I don't want to like. Hey,
Kind of like
criminals,
get
get
to
the
the
route, but this. I will say this, Nico. This is on a route that you and I have personally talked about being a possible escape route that he may have taken Nancy at. You want to bypass Interstate 10, and there's still cameras. It's like no matter where you go, there's some kind of camera. I am confident that his vehicle is on camera, and they have seen it.
You know what, Nico, you know, you're talking about how they might come back. I don't know if you'd remember, there's that anonymous neighbor. I can't really say his name, but he's like, has a high clearance. Anyway, he was able to show me some vehicles, and he actually gave me a picture of a vehicle that kind of went the wrong way and came back, and I got the picture of it. And last night, I think it might have drove by, and I just have to get another snapshot of it, and I think we got the plates too. But it was it was a charcoal gray truck. Like every time I do a chat GPT, it says it's something different. It's a Toyota Tacoma. It said it's a F-150. Someone else said it was a Dodge Rebel or a Ram Rebel or something like that. But the reason it stood out to me is because the windows are really dark. It's a king cab, short bed, and the tires, you can see the white letters on there, which means they reversed them. It's not rare, but it's not common either.
Yeah.
Wait, is this the truck that you saw?
Last night. So when I was at the top of the hill and it drove by and I yelled at Juice, I was like, get that license plate. And I think he did, but I had to go look at my pictures and stuff. But I mean, whether it is or not, we don't even know. Like the video he showed me, we don't even know if that's the suspect, but it was still a vehicle that shouldn't have been there. You know what I mean? So,
Interesting.
yeah.
Well, I was telling Jacob when I was out there, and I'm sure you know this too, is, you know, these offenders, when they commit these acts for revenge, because maybe they have a grudge against somebody in the family, or maybe they're sexually attractive to, let's say, Savannah, right?
Right.
And this cat knows that he can't get to Savannah. So he's got to figure out how to get her to communicate with him, right? So what's the easier target? Annie, who's probably going to be defended by Tommaso, or the 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, who can't really hear that well, can't move that well, but is in a very extremely close relationship with this guy that wants Savannah, right? And what did he accomplish in this? You know, a lot of people say, "Oh, he looks dumb," and he's the JV team and a rookie at this. Well, I'll tell you what, it's 116 days now. He still hasn't been caught. And what did he actually accomplish by taking Nancy? He got Savannah on a number of occasions to come out publicly and speak directly to him.
True.
And these guys will sexually fantasize about that. All he has to do is keep replaying that over and over again.
Forever now. Right.
On device that he's recorded or downloaded or what have you.
So you think the money part was, because I feel you on that. I feel like there's a lot of anger in there too, but you think maybe the money was just to cover the anger part, or no?
I honestly, man, I just don't know about the money, man. Until I see, I've always been a guy that's followed the evidence until I've seen otherwise,
right?
Or can confirm information otherwise. But
you're not believing those two ransoms?
I just don't know.
I believe them. And the only reason I say that is because Savannah was reading the ransom note February 2nd in the evening, which means had to be pre-planned. In other words, let's just say someone was just going to be like, "Oh, I'll send this." It was already, in other words, it was already going to be coming. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only reason I believe them. And I kind of believe what she was saying about it. Like maybe I'm wrong, but
I don't know. The ransoms, it just seems really weird. The ones that we've been told about, it just seems weird. And then the guy that got caught in California with the alleged fake ransom that has a possible link to, what was it, like a bandmate or somebody that Tomaso knows, or Luke.
he has a court out here, June.
Luke? Oh, the other guy?
Here in Tucson. We're going to go to it.
Oh.
Kalela. So that means he has to drive or fly all the way out here to go to court because he lives in California.
Mm-hmm.
Unless he has a lawyer. He obviously ain't got no money because he's
there eventually. The lawyer could show up for you a couple times, but eventually you're going to have to be there.
Yeah, it depends on if they subpoena him to do an in-person or not.
Right.
That's really interesting. What about I was gonna pull the signs up too. What do you guys think about the signs too? The Guthrie and Shibnick signs. Have these ever been like sleuthed on? And
Yeah, Sleuth Intuition looked into it. I think he ended up coming up with it's the husband of the wife that died, and that he said it was foul play, but supposedly she died of natural causes or something.
wasn't that like some kind of like water dispute or something like that? And then she passed away.
I didn't really keep looking into it, so I wasn't really sure. But.
Yeah, it was just weird because I understand that he was like looking at a car that belongs to some guy, but the truck that I saw, I don't think was the same truck that other dude drives. The truck I saw.
Remember, we don't know if the guy in the truck is the one that put the signs, do we?
I don't know, but I do know that I drove around shortly before that. They weren't there, and then I saw the guy in the truck, and then they were there. So. Fingers kind of point at him. I've never seen that truck in the neighborhood, but then again, I didn't see the guy get out of the truck and put the signs up. It was just like, kind of all fingers pointing towards you. So that's the only thing I was thinking of, I can't say definitively that he did it.
Would this be like a Nico, like in a past case, would this be something like, how do I explain? Would the suspect brag in this kind of a way to get some attention?
I don't know. I don't get the sense of bragging, honestly. I get the sense of maybe offsetting. You'd be surprised what some people do to try and either offset an investigation or steer it in the wrong direction.
Wow.
Yeah.
much, huh? But they just go on this other. That makes sense.
Yeah, man.
I'm just to derail it, try to get things looking all the other way. It's funny.
Yeah.
I know if I saw that truck again, though, I'd recognize it. I'd be able to smell it. That truck, the exhaust, it had a certain smell.
To me, it was light blue, baby blue and white, but everybody's like, no, there's no blue.
It was like light faded white and then brown stripe, if I remember correct. And it was like not a square body Chevy, but the year before it, where it has the rounded curves. A little bit older than a square body. Like
step side? No, it wasn't a step side. It was a fleet. Like straight. It was a
single cab, long bed, I think it was, and it was 2-wheel drive, and it was like odd to me. Like the suspension looked real worn out, just real low to the ground. It wasn't like they lowered it on purpose. It just looked like the suspension was worn out, sitting on the bump stops. I don't want to be mean or hate on him, but that truck looked like it was clapped out. It was just at the end of its days. I was surprised it ran.
Front wheel brakes. I think the air conditioning was working too.
Probably didn't have air conditioning. It was cool. It would have been a great truck to restore, but it was just one of those things where like you're in a neighborhood full of $1 million homes and you're like, why is this truck here? It doesn't make sense.
I never seen it. I was watching you that night. I never seen that truck before. So. A Harley pulled up the other day. I was like, is that a Harley coming out the street?
Is that Dad's Gone Live?
That was some guy who came to say hi. It was him and his wife, they follow us. So I was like, is that a Harley coming out the street? It was nice.
You didn't see a souped up white Corvette drive by during the wee hours of the morning, did you?
Nope. That's funny.
Hey, let me ask you guys something. Are you guys, I'm sure you're familiar with Nancy's dog dying, right? In December.
Right.
And I know they said, it died of natural causes, old age or whatever. But, one of the things these organized offenders do is their minds are always working towards the crime, right? So I'm hoping that they're looking at the details surrounding the dog all of a sudden dying and who was in that house in the preceding weeks and then preceding days leading up to when the dog died, right? Because there are certain poisons out there that you can give somebody or an animal or whatever, where the dying process takes place over time, right?
Interesting.
Be it poisoning their treats or their bag of food or what have you, right? And Nancy was living alone, and some offender that, let's say, could have been working in the house for a couple of days straight, right? He could have noticed this whole thing about Savannah and Nancy having a relationship, and then all of a sudden starts to formulate the crime in his mind, like how can I get her to help me fantasize, right?
We need to start getting rid of the dog. Yeah, all these things.
So if he was successful in poisoning that dog over a period of maybe just a few weeks and then a few days, once that dog passes, 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie is not going to quickly get another dog, right?
Right.
Because that was, that was her love, and now all of a sudden, overnight, she's alone in that house, right?
True.
The other thing is too, if somebody was working there for some time, they know by hearing the neighbors, right? If they're active during the daytime, nighttime, when are the other dogs barking, right? If the dog gets taken out, that's one less disruption that he or they have to deal with during that mission, right?
People are saying that the dog had cancer. So if you are overhearing Nancy talk about this dog, it's got cancer, and you're like, oh, well, then if the dog passes away from poison, then it's just going to be assumed that it was cancer.
Right.
like everything.
And they're never,
Everything is
and they're
COVID.
not going to go and do an autopsy on a dog to see if it had poison.
Right.
Well, I will tell you, Florida will go to great lengths to solve homicides, but I'm not sure how they do things out there in Pima County. But anyway, so if we now say Nancy's dog isn't a factor anymore, now it's this quiet little old lady who can't move, can't hear, whatever. This guy picked the most pristine time when she was in her deep sleep to come into that area, park his vehicle, make his way through the side of the house, the gate, prop open the gate, prop open the exterior door. I don't know how he got in the interior door. Maybe it was unlocked. Maybe he knew she left it unlocked. Hell, maybe he was there the day before and purposely unlocked it. Maybe she didn't even know, right? And so, with that said, he's got a lot less things he's got to think about, right, when trying to negotiate this. And I think really, just looking at the totality of things, I think really when he realized she was a little bit heavier than he could handle, it was far easier for him to either carry her or drag her from the bedroom through the front door than it was ever to go from the bedroom through the hallway, through the kitchen, out the side door, down the driveway, out the side gate, and bring it to the vehicle. Does that make sense to you guys?
It does.
I just feel like someone had to be driving. I don't think he would have left his car parked there for 41 minutes. But you're right, though. At that time he needed to get out of there, the quickest route would have been out that door. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I also feel like there was but like I wanted to go back because you were talking about how the guy who might have had an obsession with Savannah is kind of what Dr. Q was telling us about parasocial behavior. It's like you're in a relation or a parasocial relationship. Like he feels like he's in a relationship with that person. You know what I mean? Even though they're not, and they're never gonna.
100%.
And like how you said, like that's their way of communicating that way. And she was speaking to the kidnapper. So
yeah.
Nico, how often, like with your experience in law enforcement and dealing with cases, how often have you seen romantic obsession cases like this?
A lot. I've sat across and interviewed killers that were gang members. And, just because somebody, what they call, gave them the dirty eye or the stink eye to their girlfriend, especially when other gang members were with them, that's total disrespect. And, they got no qualms about it, And I've also talked to other people who they were sex offenders. And, it's going to sound gross, but even my ugly ass sitting across a 3-foot table from them, talking about something that they may have done. Next thing you know, they're squirming in their seats because they're getting excited even thinking about it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
And to us, we say, come on, man, that's but there is a sickness.
You got off on that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you guys see it in this day and age. How many times now do you see on the news about these child sex offenders? Right?
All over the place. It's like everyone just.
And they know we're coming after them with these computer scams where we're acting like, 12, 13, 14-year-old girls or parents that are selling their girls. They see it on the news every single day, yet they can't stop themselves.
Right.
And I think a lot of it too has to do with it's so easy to get on a porn site to get on a snuff site, to go to the dark web and inquire about things. And I think what they get so ingrained in it, they a lot of times they can't help themselves. It's kind of scary, you know, to see that. And my wife actually worked that stuff. She was a federal agent as well. And yeah, she worked child sex offenders, child exploitation, and you know, sex smuggling, if you will. And I'd much rather be going after some totally violent gang members and murderers as opposed to what she had to do. Because the only way you can testify in a court of law and get that person convicted is showing them and explaining to them exactly what the offender was doing.
Right. Must be draining for her.
And you know, it's hard, man.
I bet.
You watch jurors break down and just start bawling, you know. And then meanwhile, you're not even allowed to show emotion because you're not allowed to like sway the jury to, you know. Right. So it's hard, man.
That's crazy.
I mean, look at those times at the Chris Hansen. Remember when they would do the set up the Predator? Some of those people came back again.
Yeah.
Like, it just shows you how obsessive and how you're sick.
I don't know if you can see it, but I'm wearing one of my buddy's sweatshirts.
There's no rehabilitation for that. Yeah, I agree. There's no rehabilitation.
I got to be careful about the words, but he set the threads. They think they're meeting up with a 15-year-old, 14-year-old, 13-year-old little girl. In reality, they're meeting up with him. He's a big old bearded guy. Big old biker dude, weighs about 400-something pounds. And he live streams meeting up with them in public. And a lot of times these guys end up getting beat up because out here are cops. They never show up. And he does, I ain't gonna lie, he does lose his temper. I've gone with him a couple times. And the catch I went with him on, this guy named Mike has been caught 3 times now by my buddy Mason. Literally the exact same guy. We walked to this little Mexican restaurant. I had this pred, we call him a pred, or this predator. I literally had this predator order me a beer because he thought he was ordering a beer for a mom and her little 4-year-old daughter that he was going to hook up with. He thought this mom was bringing a little girl for him to hook up with. And as soon as we walked in, we have our GoPros on, we have all the cameras. And as soon as we walked in, I tried getting Mason on camera today too, but as soon as we walked in, this pred, Mike, he recognized Mason. And he goes from being, you know, like on his phone, texting Mason, to just looking up and you could just see the oh shit on his face. And he stood up and he just started shaking, dude. And
probably still do it again. You know, he's shaking.
Not too long ago, Mason found him back on that website, on that little dating app thing. And what he does is he tries to talk to people. And if he as soon as he starts talking to you and he finds out you're underage, he will not stop talking to you. That's all he does. He goes after young girls. And he ended up giving me his phone. While Mason was talking to him, I was going through his phone and I found my God, dude, I was shaking, bro. I found so many pictures of other children on that phone. So I don't know what's wrong, man. I don't know what's wrong with society. But
no rehabilitation.
Was success.
I hope you guys turned him into or notified Homeland Security.
We actually, so Mason has a contact in the FBI for some of his cases. So he sent all the information and text messages over to the FBI. My friend of mine, basically what we do is during these interactions, we have one of our friends watch. Well, my buddy's the one that does all this. I just tag along with him occasionally. He has another friend of ours watch the live stream, and as soon as he feels comfortable or feels like the time is right, he will call the cops. He knows the location where Mason's at. But this interaction with this Mike guy, man, they didn't come out for like 8 hours later. 8 hours, man, 6 hours to 8 hours later. I even called the cops. I received a phone call myself, 6.5 minutes, 8 hours later. Hi, do you guys still need assistance? I said, nope. The public showed up and they beat the crap out of him. That guy's at home now. Nothing.
You know, it's going to be like that until they change the sentencing laws.
Mhm.
A lot of these people who are pedophiles, they might not have other criminal records. So when they go in there, they get probation, and then they're able to do it again. And there's no rehabilitation. If you have that sick thought in your mind that you want to violate a children, and then you act on it, that's crossing the line that there's no coming back from that.
That's why, fellas, if you ever get information on offenders like that, child sex offenders, call the feds. I'm not saying the state and locals don't, you know, they hate them just as much as anybody else. But if you go federal, like my wife has gotten people sentenced to 400 years.
That's awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Have a nice life behind
Never,
bars.
yeah.
You know, but the feds treat that and prosecute that way different than the state and locals, because the state and locals have to take certain state and local, you know,
It's not important too when it comes to like another one. I run a page in California that I lived there, and I still have it. It's called California Child Predators Most Wanted. And what we did is we go through the whole registry, and anybody who's in violation, we post them on there. And everybody was like, "We're going to sue you. We're going to sue you." 10 years later, nobody sued us. In other words, when they're at whenever they're out of their requirements for what they get, you know, they're supposed to stay registered, have an address, all that. And whenever you're in violation, even though it's a felony, they don't issue a warrant. Whereas if you and I, if we got a drunk driving or something, and they gave us a court date and we didn't show up to court, that judge is issuing a warrant right there. You know what I mean? A bench warrant. Even though they're not going to come get you if it's nothing big. But point being is, when it comes to children and all that stuff, yeah, they don't even arrest when they're in violation, even though it's a felony, federal and state. They don't even issue a warrant. I don't think there's enough money in there for it when it comes to that stuff. You know what I mean?
Nico, do you think that maybe this predator, this guy that did this to Nancy, if he's got this obsession with Savannah, do you think he, you know, coming from like a behavioral analysis thought on it, do you think that maybe he's got charges against other people in the past? Maybe he's an offender. Maybe, do you think anything like that or no?
Do I think he's like a previous sex offender? Is that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you know, that's the qualified answer. The unqualified answer is, I don't think so with this guy. I really, since day one, I've been thinking of the fixation on Nancy, or on Savannah rather. Everything that I've seen and heard and did my own investigation with the same information that everybody else has. I don't have a stitch more than anybody else. But Alex, one of the things I did want to ask you, it was the second note or email, wasn't it, where supposedly the guy was apologetic?
Weird. Yeah. That was the second real one. Yeah.
And didn't Savannah come out after that and say something to the effect of, "We understand"?
We understand. Yes. That was right after that.
Yeah. So that was really what started me to second guess whether those were real or not. But when you look at all of the considerations and previous cases of kidnapping for ransom, man, the biggest thing you want to do is get this thing over with. You don't want to prolong it. So going back and forth and contacting TMZ and the news, you go directly to the family and you say, "You got 12 hours and you come up with this money, or you're never going to see Miss Nancy again," or whoever, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the only reason why I went back and forth. Now, this guy who sent that second letter and apologized, maybe he sent the first email or note and then felt bad about doing it, even though he wasn't involved. Hold on there, killer. Sorry, I got to get my dog out.
Hunter.
All right, go ahead.
The one thing too, Nico, while you're doing that, is that I remember that the first ransom note, the reason why it became valid is because not only the flood limit, and they knew exactly where the Apple Watch was, which was somewhere that they probably shouldn't have known, and that they knew what he was wearing. That's
that's interesting.
That's why I believe the first one, and it came on the second. If Savannah was reading it that evening, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that's the same person; they're linked, but it doesn't mean it's the same person. You know, it's two different skill sets, but maybe I'm wrong.
It's definitely a tough case, man.
The apology one was weird, though. So that's why when people were saying, what if a female was involved? But it also kind of fits to what you're saying, the parasocial, where like, maybe he did feel bad. Like this plan wasn't supposed to go like that, maybe, or, you know, or strange.
People are asking if I can call Jim. I guess he was up searching in Rose Canyon, and then someone asked him if they can help him in his live stream.
People end up missing over there. You have to be careful.
Yeah.
Where's he at?
Rose Canyon Lake. They're saying that he went live. He was live up there, going to look. I'll shoot him a call and a text right now.
I didn't even know he was in town. I didn't know he was back.
Yeah, I guess he came back to search. He said something about being back on Thursday, I mean, which is today. So,
it's his ninth trip, I think. Ninth trip.
He's a hard charger, man.
Yeah.
He's putting a lot of work in, man.
Machine. Yeah.
So for the viewers, I almost doxed his phone number.
You just doxed him from me?
I almost doxed his phone number because you call his voicemail and it shows his phone number if you don't answer. But
it says it out loud. Yeah.
Hey, get out of there! What are you doing? But yeah, man, I really want to. Well, I'll try to get a hold of Jim, guys. But I really want to like do some searching and kind of like some boots on the ground. Nico, you've taught me a lot. Even if you're not there, just answering the phone and giving me
so knowledgeable. Yeah, I love it. So knowledgeable.
I learned a lot from you guys too, man. I mean, you know, the amount of people that you guys have call in and stuff like that. And I wasn't bullshitting, man. You know, there was a long time ago when I was a younger Marine. And are you guys familiar with CQB, close quarters combat?
I don't.
Back in the day when we first started, like doing close quarters combat and in urban terrain and buildings and stuff like that, we had M16A1s and M16A2s, which were longer rifles than the M4, right? And man, we were having a hell of a time because, you know, you got tight spaces and stuff like that. And then there was this one kid, young private first class, that was like, why don't we hold the weapons up like this when we're going around corners, right? And we had been dealing with this for a year in training to get certain qualifications up before deployment. And everybody kind of looked, you know, at first you want to tear the kid's head off because he's a private first class and not supposed to know shit, right? But then when we all realized it's pretty freaking smart. Yeah, just holding it up to the side, right? And then cutting the pie and stuff like that. But my point with that is, I'm sorry.
No, that was my kids talking. Sorry, I've been muted.
My point with all that is, you know, you may think that, you know, oh God, this guy's calling in, or this gal's calling in, or man, I don't want to talk to this person, that person, whatever. And then all of a sudden they got this great idea. And, you know, sometimes you may have to tweak it a little bit or whatever. But like I said, man, it's not always federal agents and detectives that solve crimes. We get a lot of help from the community. One of our biggest forms of help are reformed criminals, because they know, you know, they know the mindset, they know, you know, just from past experience, and now they want to try and do good.
Yeah. That makes sense.
It helps, man. It helps.
Yeah. Hey, Jacob, I don't mean to jump out of here, but I'm going to handle some stuff with the kids. So
Okay.
I appreciate you. I appreciate the invite. And if you ever,
Anytime.
and Nico, always good to see you, man.
Love you, bro.
Man,
I'm
love to see
probably
you.
going back next week, if that's cool.
Yeah, of course. You're not going this week.
Let's stay at your place.
I thought I was going to see. I was going to see you to go do Hangover 4 tomorrow.
Yeah, we're
You're
going
not-
to try tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'll be
I
in
don't think
Vegas
we're gonna
from
go
7 to 8 p.m.
Oh yeah. So you're not going to see me in a week and a half. You're going to see me tomorrow.
I'm gonna see you tomorrow. And then I'm gonna go back to Tucson with Nico. So I wanna be out there in time.
Nice. All right, man. Good to see you guys.
All right,
Thanks
guys.
for what you guys do. All right. Thanks, Nico.
Much love,
Thanks,
All
Al.
right, brother. Talk soon, man.
So Nico, what yeah, what your situation going back? You're thinking you can go back maybe around the 5th?
I'm going to try somewhere around the week of the 5th.
Okay.
Because I have the pre-op is the second week of June.
And the viewers, they're obviously gonna be worried. You're talking about surgery now. You're gonna be okay.
Yeah, I'm getting my left shoulder is getting totally replaced.
Okay.
Yeah, it's time.
So no gender reassignment, just working on the shoulder.
When I have the when that surgery's done, I'll have the coming out party.
You'll have the what?
The coming out party.
The coming out party? The gender reassignment coming out party?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, I mean, what are your plans? Do you plan on being out there for maybe a couple days, a week, or?
I want to try and get at least 5 days out there.
Okay.
Once I get out there, I'll link up with you and then show you what my thought process is and some of the areas I want to search.
Okay. Now
I wish this guy can put all this to rest by just being a man and or be a half a man and at least call in and say this is where you could find her remains or whatever, because right now he's just a punk bitch that he's going to be dealt with. The other thing, and you've heard me talk about this before also, and I've posted about it. I really feel bad for his family too, because whether it's social media, what have you, in the court of public opinion, they're going to get crucified because the people know who this guy is. Okay. Mothers know what their sons look like, even in their Halloween costumes. I don't care what they're wearing for Halloween.
So you think that the family has that gut feeling like, hey, this is
100%.
Really?
100%. I can't tell you how many times a sibling or a parent was, I wish I knew, because I had a feeling, but I wish I knew 100%. And they said I should have called anyway. And people say, well, that's their son or that's their husband or whatever. Well, yeah, that's true. But you better be sleeping with one eye open, because if he could do this to an 84-year-old defenseless woman, he could do it to you too.
That's very true.
All he needs is that trigger.
Man, can you imagine, like, just having a thought? Like, I got 3 kids. Can you imagine being a dad or mother, like, knowing that your child did this to somebody, even if they're 40 years old, 30 years old, whatever it is? Like, when I was a kid, my dad thought he saw a picture of me in a gas station for someone that did a beer run. And instead of coming to me and saying, hey, did you ever do a beer run at this place? He literally came and picked me up, and he drove me to that gas station, and he walked me in there, and he put me up against the picture. He's like, no, I just want to make sure it wasn't you. I was like, that, like, I would be the kind of person that would turn you in immediately, because that's how I grew up.
Mhm.
Can you imagine not being that kind of person and hiding that secret and having that guilt, knowing that you're keeping an 84-year-old woman from being given back to her family? That's just horrible.
You know, on the other side of the coin too is they could be saving his life.
That's
Because
true.
what's going to, you know, what's going to happen is once they, and I do believe right now they probably do have a few working persons of interest.
Yeah.
But what's going to happen when all of a sudden one night at 0:30, the FBI SWAT team has your house surrounded, and all of a sudden there's flashbangs and gates and doors being pulled off the hinges, and you know, guys coming in with you know, ungodly amounts of firepower, and he does something stupid like jumps up with a knife or a gun, and then he gets zip tied with 100 bullets in him. All that could have been prevented if somebody would have turned him in instead.
If they care about their loved one, you know, the perp, if the perp's family cared about the perp, they would turn him in, because this can turn deadly for the perp when he finally does get taken into custody.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he's going to be caught? Like, do you think you're pretty confident he'll get caught eventually?
100%. There's no doubt, at least in my mind. And you know, I know people are saying cold case and stuff like that, and you know, I get it. It's frustrating for a lot of people and stuff, but a case isn't cold until all leads and information and everything else has been exhausted, and they are nowhere near close to that even happening. They're still working thousands of leads and still waiting on DNA results and genetic genealogy and stuff like that. That stuff takes sometimes 9 to 12 months. It's not like the TV show FBI or CIS or CSI or anything else like that. It doesn't happen like that.
It's true. So you think that there's a very good possibility that they have a person of interest, someone that they're kind of watching and kind of digging into, or maybe potentially multiple persons of interest?
Yep.
Because I remember in the very beginning,
If I was a betting man, that person's name is, or those persons' names are already in the files.
so they already have their name in black and white on paper somewhere, is what you're thinking.
If I was a betting man, I would bet that. Yep.
Because they went around in the beginning, they were going to gun stores, and they had like I don't know if it was like Armenian or a bunch of names, and most of them I couldn't even pronounce. And they were asking gun stores if they recognized these names. So they already had a list of names, but where do the names come from? How do they get those names? That's something I was curious about. Do you remember that when they were doing the gun store questioning?
Yeah, I think there was like 40 some odd people, something like that.
Now, do you know if they've looked into contractors for the house? There's a lot of work being done to Nancy's home before she was taken in the last year or two. Do you know if they've been searching into them? Is that standard to look at contractors that did work on her house?
1,000%. Yeah.
Okay. Because like
everybody that in one way, shape, or form that touched Nancy, Savannah, or Annie's life,
yeah,
in the last probably 10, 15 years, they're looking at. You know, they got one person just running criminal histories. Oh, this one was an offender here. This one's never been arrested. This one is deceased. And then they start working that. The guys with the guns, those could have been initial call-ins based off of what people saw on that video. And maybe they're calling in and saying, hey, I just want to let you know, there's this guy, Jack Murphy, that bought a Walther, 22, 2 weeks before Nancy ended up missing. Well, how do you know that? Well, he told me. We hung out, and we were going to go to the range, but all of a sudden, he decided he didn't want to go. So maybe that was called in. Once that video came out, I guarantee you that there was an explosion of tips that came in immediately.
Do you think there's more video from inside the house, or maybe the back that they're not telling us about?
One thing that I could tell you the FBI is superior about, and nobody's better, except for maybe the CIA. I don't know, but is keeping secrets and keeping their investigations close to the chest. They're just that way, especially after 9/11.
Yeah.
They turned into a phenomenal, not only investigative agency, but also an intelligence gathering agency. So yeah, they are phenomenal at what they do. Their forensic people are top notch. But I guarantee you, I'll put it to you, I'm glad I'm not the case agent on this case. My head would be spinning.
Yeah, it sounds like these big cases, man. They got to be a pain in the ass. They got to be a headache, a migraine. It sounds like everyone. You get overflowing with tips. You're gonna get a lot of I don't want to discredit mediums or anything like that, but I've gotten a lot of mediums to contact me, and they all have a different story or a different dream that told them something. And then all the people, the viewers of the channels, the news network viewers and all that stuff too, they have a hunch. Oh, I think she's in Rose Canyon Lake. I think she's over here. So I can imagine that the tip line, and then every time somebody that, let's say, Susan Bob, her name's Susan Bob or whatever, in charge of the FBI public affairs, every time she walks out the door, they're probably hounding her for questions, and media's up their ass. So I can imagine how much of a headache it would be. Let's see.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed how fast they moved it from Tucson to Phoenix.
Why would they do that?
Just more assets and a bigger field office.
So instead of having a smaller office closer to the scene, they're gonna utilize a larger area, larger office.
Yeah. Normally you have the one main office, and then you have a couple of what we call satellite offices in different in smaller cities or counties. But yeah.
Now, and I'm totally all over the thing here. Do you think the FBI has actually had any foot searches that we might not know about? Or are they kind of more on the investigation side?
No, they're more on the investigation side. If and when the time comes where they get locked into a certain area, you will see FBI agents out there along with ERT guys, the evidence response team. Those guys are absolutely brilliant at processing crime scenes. And, we had in 2016, we had Omar Mateen. He shut up the Pulse nightclub, and he killed 49 people inside and outside of that nightclub. Some of them, ended up dying outside as they were trying to escape. But anyway, the FBI ERT team had to process that massacre, and they did an absolute phenomenal job. And you could really see the difference of how things are done. And again, not knocking local law enforcement, but that's all these guys do is train in processing, criminal scenes, crime scenes, if you will.
So why do you think that there's been no, I haven't seen any searching be done by anybody but civilians like us. Why do you think, why is there no searching from the law enforcement? Or are they searching?
Not that I'm aware of.
Now, and the other thing too, I think of searching law enforcement. I think of, do you remember the day that there was a helicopter doing grid-like flight patterns over the county landfill, the dump in Pima County? Do you remember that?
I recall that.
What do you think that was about? Do you think they made something in my gut tells me that they weren't doing surveying. I worked at a landfill for close to a year after I left the oil fields before I started live streaming. Mm-hmm. And I've never in my life heard of them using a helicopter to do surveys. They have ground crews that have the GPS sticks, and they go out and they survey the actual thing, the actual locations. They don't do, grid-like patterns with the helicopter. I've never even heard of that. I called my old supervisor at the county landfill. He's like, I don't know what the hell they're talking about, word for word. I was kind of thinking maybe they were trying to use that sniffer since it's away from homes and stuff. Maybe they can get her pacemaker, hoping they can pick up a signal through the dirt or something. If she was in the landfill, what do you think the odds of her being in the landfill are?
Why again? He's already, or they have already taken a huge risk in removing the body from the home.
Yeah.
Now they got to put it in a vehicle and transport it. Another huge risk, right? They don't want to be driving very far with that body in the vehicle. Because what happens if they get pulled over? What happens if they get a flat tire? What happens if they fall asleep because it's 0 dark 30 and they lose control of the vehicle and they crash?
It just doesn't make sense to me.
And why would you take it to a landfill when Tucson, Arizona is a landfill? Right?
My wife just walked in. She's got her computer desk set up over here, and she heard you say that.
It's huge. It's huge.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's true, because there's not only is it huge, there's so much trash everywhere out there. It's pretty. I don't know why it's so bad.
How many human smuggling sites did we find?
Oh my gosh, a lot. Oh my God, the carpet shoes and all that stuff, dude. That was insane, Nico. I've never seen that. I've never seen that much evidence of human trafficking. And a lot of it's children. They're smuggling children. These are children clothes, children backpacks.
Huge money in that. Huge money. You're coming across with your kids, right?
Yeah.
Cartel helps you get across, but they keep your kid. And then once you get to where you're going and you link up with whoever you're supposed to meet, now you gotta make money to pay them the $10,000, $15,000 that they want to smuggle your child into, Texas, Arizona, what have you.
And seeing how there's these human trafficking sites like this, from what I think these are areas where they make the smuggled humans walk a little bit, wait for a ride, get driven to the next spot, get out, walk, wait for another ride. Mm-hmm. And that tells me that this area, even with living humans, is still risky to drive around with. So having a dead body in your car, or Nancy in the car that was just kidnapped, is even more risky than possibly all this. So I don't think they went very far with Nancy in the car. I don't think they went that far at all.
No way.
I think I understand statistically, you're saying statistics show that they're usually within 10 miles of the house, but I'm kind of winding up the search area, not as a crow flies, but as a car drives. only because it's so slow getting out of that area, and there is so, like, the properties are so large and wide and spread out that I'm going to the first signs of remote highway, remote roads, where you look around and you can yell a cuss word and no one hears you yell a cuss word at 2 a.m. So everything I think of, everything that I look at online, everything we talk about, in the back of my head, I have this little voice that just says, go fucking search. Just go fucking search some more. And that's what I want to do. I just want to get out, do some more walking, do some more hiking, and see what we find. And we might not find her right away, but we're finding peace of mind of where she's not at, knocking them off the list.
That's honestly, that's just as important. And that's why I was surprised that when they released the crime scene and exercised their negligence, if you will. I don't want to beat them up. They've been beat up enough, but
they do it to themselves.
I just, it's beyond me of how and why they would have just not done that searching appropriately. And, you could have asked for help from the National Guard. You could have asked for help from, different counties to bring in even recruits, down here.
All these things?
Down here, when we have a missing person in certain counties and stuff, if it's a critical case, they actually bring the recruits out of the law enforcement academy to get online and search specific areas. They ask the community for help. Search your own backyard, search your own front yard, search. Look at, everybody and their mother these days have some kind of camera on their vehicle.
Somebody just said in the chat that, because I am kind of reading the chat, sorry to cut you off, but somebody in the chat just said, no one is going to find Nancy, LOL. Nico, who wasn't it like search people like, searchers like yourself that found the rest of Brian Laundrie's human remains with the Gabby Petito case?
Yeah.
Wasn't it a YouTuber that had the dash cam footage of Brian speeding away from the scene where Gabby Petito was killed at?
Yeah.
Aren't we saying over and over again that statistics show that a lot of cases are solved by the public coming forward with information or people going out and searching?
Yeah. So
I think we're doing the right thing.
I mean, people that make those, I don't know why the LOL. I mean, everybody's got a right to their own opinion. But, I don't know why they write that stuff. But look, at the end of the day, Nancy Guthrie is a human being. Just like somebody that is suicidal is a human being. Just like somebody with a drug addiction is a human being. Just like somebody with dementia is a human being. And law enforcement doesn't have the assets or the money, frankly, to put people on missing persons cases for an extended period of time. They just don't. So if we don't do it, who's going to?
Well, funny you say that. They don't have the assets. This is my county. I live in Kern County. Okay, this is my local sheriff's office. According to this is a missing persons report. This has all the missing persons listed in the county of Kern, which is we're one of the largest counties in California. The following individuals have been reported as missing, according to the Kern County Sheriff's Office. You may click the photograph, blah, 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 additional details. All right. This is all the people that's reported missing in Kern County, according to Kern County Sheriff's Department. See how many people are on here? Not a single listing. That tells me that my local sheriff's department doesn't have enough time or the resources to update their website and to keep it updated for the missing persons. So kind of makes me think that even locally, we need to have people going out there and finding information on missing persons and going out and searching out here too. You know, I see it. I guess my point is I see locally where my local law enforcement isn't able to keep up with it, and their hands are tied with other things. So I personally think that more people should step up, more people should go out and look, and more people should have interactions like the interaction I had with you when I first met you. Because Nico, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Before I met you that day in front of Nancy's house, I had no intentions of searching because I had no idea that me searching can actually help. I had no intentions of searching. I thought it was useless. And then I talked to you and I heard your story about the other people that you've found, you and your group, the nonprofits you've helped get going, the people they've helped out, and you know how happy the families are. Like it's just I guess it's just a rabbit hole of positivity, you know, which is good. So I want to get back out to Tucson. I want to go search, and I guess that's it, really. I just wanted to do a little live stream and kind of talk about what's going on with the Nancy case and talk about going out there. So as soon as you give me a date that you're able to head out, I will get my date set in stone and try to link up and try to do what I can to help you search.
Sounds good, brother.
So
thank all your followers for listening in tonight, and you know, again, you know, it's people like you and other people out there that are keeping Nancy's name and story out there. I know not everybody agrees with YouTubers and I guess media personnel that are not doing it for a particular agency, but they are legit reporters and stuff like that. I mean, you guys are the ones that are keeping people motivated and you know, keeping her name out there, because if all the flowers go away and all the Nancy followers go away, and you know, what happens? Do we just say, she was an 84-year-old lady? What does it really matter?
it does matter.
If we get to that point, we're in a sad state of affairs.
Well,
because
also,
every person listening on your show at one point or another, and maybe still does, have a mother, a father, a sister, a brother, a niece, a nephew, a granddaughter, grandson, what have you. And if they go missing, I promise you, if they go missing, they're going to want to help. They're going to want help from as many people that are willing to help. Because until you've lived it and or experienced it or saw the pain and in the eyes and the fear that these families carry, you know, you just don't know. And I'm sure the person that said she's never going to be found, LOL, probably has not had something like this happen to them, because it's not a laughing matter.
No, it's not.
And
I don't think the efforts that people trying to do what they can is also, I don't think that's a laughing matter either.
yeah.
We might criticize on how, you know, law enforcement's decisions were in the very beginning, but even with all the criticism of Pima County, I still appreciate, you know, the detectives that are working the case. I appreciate everyone. I appreciate what you got going on. Yeah, we've all got loved ones. I've had my son. I'll say this: my son, my 2-year-old son. You guys probably heard him stomp around earlier. He snuck out the back door into the backyard, and he was playing in the backyard with my dog. And I noticed he was missing within like 1 to 2 minutes, because, you know, I thought he was on the couch while I was in the kitchen. No, he kind of silently snuck right past me, went out in the backyard. The panic I had for about 7 minutes while I searched every freaking room in the house, and the first thing I did was run out front to make sure he wasn't going out front somewhere, was insane. The worst feeling I've ever felt. And to find this little kid in the backyard laughing with a water hose and trying to spray me after I run back there was just insane. But 7 minutes of panic that I had. 7 minutes. 7 minutes. I let my kid snuck out the back door, and that's when I realized that he learned how to unlock the damn doors.
They're quick, man, and they watch everything that you're doing.
Yep.
They know, they watch you open that door, you know, and they watch how you undo the locks, and as soon as they're able to reach that shit, they're out that door.
So I feel like that we're all just so involved with this case, and you know, like someone just said in the chat, Nancy feels like a relative to us. You know, we all want her to be found.
Yeah. My mother is the same age as Nancy, and even before I went out, I didn't tell her I was going out there, but
Really?
she brought up Nancy's case to me, and you know, here's an 84-year-old woman with tears in her eyes saying, "How could somebody do that?" And then I'm sitting there in a quiet fit of rage, thinking, "God forbid anybody ever did this to my mother." Sitting across from me, who's crying because Nancy Guthrie, who she never met in her life, you know, was kidnapped. So it has an effect on a lot of people in this country, and that's why it's getting the attention it is, and rightly so.
And speaking of, you know, kind of like brushing the subject of this case versus other cases, people are only seeing this case because they're looking up this case, or they see Nancy, it pops up on the newsfeed. But there's other searches. You've been actively searching for other people too, correct?
Yeah.
Would you, I'm going to say it publicly if they're in the spot, would you mind if I flew out to Florida and tagged along and did my thing with the live stream and tried to help you search?
Not at all.
Thank you so much. Mama Donna, Jacob, remind Nico to check his Facebook, private messages about GoFundMe. He and I talked about it weeks ago. Thank you so much. Someone just sent me a super chat and said that
Mama Donna's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I get a message from her like, I don't know, once a week. I want to start a GoFundMe page so you can get your ass back out there.
Well, Nico, you're an extremely humble person. Can I, on behalf of me, would you let me beg you? First off, I have $20 that someone donated towards you last time you were on my chat. But would you let me convince you to get your own Venmo so people can donate towards your trip?
Yeah, I think I'll do that, and I'll see how that works. I got to figure all that out.
I mean, heck, if someone donates a tank of gas, man, I know, I'm sure it'll help out. Yeah,
it does. It does tremendously. But, you know, it's also a difficult time, you know, economically for everybody. You know, you guys are spending what, $7, $8 a gallon of gas out there?
Yeah. In my town, it's like $5.50 to $6.
People are, you know, they get two small bags of items at Publix, and it's costing them $150, you know, and then you got to think about the people like you with families of 4 and 5. Yep. That's a lot of mouths to feed.
Yeah.
You know,
tell me about it.
And so it ain't easy. Yeah, man, we'll talk. I gotta get rolling.
Okay. I got my live chat tonight.
Everybody who was listening, and thank you, Mama Donna. I'll check my Facebook, but not tonight. I got to go spend some time with the wife. Otherwise, I might be shacking in a tent out there.
Hey, tell her I said thank you for letting us borrow you for a little bit. She's awesome.
All right, man.
Stay safe, Nico, and
take care, everybody. Be safe, and let's bring Nancy home.
Amen. Let's bring Nancy home.
Amen.
So, all right, guys, I'm kicking Nico out. Thank you, Nico. I just kicked him out. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna end this. I'm going to go and live stream tonight in the streets of Bakersfield. Let me see how I can turn this stupid thing off. There we go. I'm going to live stream tonight in the streets of Bakersfield, and then I will live stream a little bit tomorrow morning. And after that, I'm going to Vegas. And my goal is to check out CrimeCon. I'll see if I can find Nancy Grace on Saturday. I want to see if she's going to be there. I want to try to find Nancy Grace. I just want to ask her for her input and see if she'd like to take a selfie together. That's about it, guys. Much love. I'll see you guys soon. I will be in Tucson. Also, Adrienne, thank you so much, girl, from Scotland. I read your super chat. It's just me, Alex, Juice, and Nico. We're all in the middle of talking, and I do enough interrupting. But I do appreciate the super chat. I appreciate the likes, the love. Thank you guys all for for following this case and for giving a shit about Nancy. Because there's a lot of people out there that just shrug these things off, and that's not what we need to be doing. Also, I'm going to show you guys a little video, a little clip. This whole area right here has been searched along this highway on the way out from Nancy's home. I'll catch you guys later. Dad's Gone Live is out. When this is over, please come back, and I challenge you to leave a comment on what you guys think may or may not have been happening to Miss Nancy Guthrie. And then on top of that, we're going to redirect you to Juice. Is he live? Is he live? Let me try to see if I can find Juice. Let's see. I see everyone but the Juice. I hope he's live now. Juice. Oh, I don't see him. So we're going to go to 857. I'm going to redirect you to my boy, 857 Tucson. Says he's on scene. Catch you guys later. Much love, much love. Don't forget to come back and hit the like.